Hey y'all, welcome to Beth and Beyond. I'm Beth, and today we're doing a plan with me for the week of September 23rd through the 29th. We are getting rid of September. We're kicking it to the curb. We're going full blast into spooky season because October is coming. I know many of you already think spooky season is here, but it's been hot here. You know, I told y'all a couple of weeks ago when we had really fall-like weather right at September 1st that it was false advertising. Well, yeah, the heat came back. And while it was predicted that, say, yesterday was 89 and today was 85, no, it's about 95 right now. It was hotter than that yesterday. Like I said, total false advertising. It does not feel like the equinox that it is today. I did do an equinox reflection, so I haven't done my weekly reflection yet. I am going to do it, but I'm a little reflected out because I did do my full quarterly reflection, which is what these 2 pages are. I had a date with my son today at a coffee shop near here. And I did that during the course of our date. We talked about his bullet journal for 2025. We talked about his bullet journal themes for 2025. We talked about his drag performance on Friday night. I gave him a signed autograph from Brooklyn Heights because he wasn't at that show because he worked the next morning. He does work for Starbucks. He opens. So he used to be working at like 5:30 in the morning. I had gone to Brooklyn Heights on Thursday, got a signed autograph for him, framed it, gave it to him at our date today, the Kinney date at noon. So we spent some time together. We spent several hours together today. So I'm going to come in and do this reflection, but I'm just a little reflected out. So it'll probably be tomorrow morning. I have a couple more videos I also want to film today. So yeah, I'll probably do my weekly reflection Monday morning. And that's just a-okay. I have a very quiet week. I don't want to jinx it or anything. It's just, there's not a lot going on. There's just not a lot going on. And I think it'll be okay, you know. Not that I don't have plenty of work to do in both my professional life and my personal life. I have a quiet enough week that I feel comfortable doing some things for my personal growth. I don't get a lot of professional development opportunities where I currently work. And so I'm currently taking a project management class on my own, which is all meant to prepare me to take the PMP examination and get a project management certification rather than just event management. And I've said before, event management is project management. We just herd cats on top of it. You know, project managers have to deal with people in terms of you've got this team and you're trying to keep everybody on task to make sure they do what they need to do to keep the project moving in the right direction. Well, event managers do that too. But then we have the actual event with the public. And people are full-blown wild cards. And so, yeah, the fact that I can't just claim to be a project manager kind of chaps my hide because we tick all the same boxes. We keep mostly the same timelines, essentially. We do the budgeting, the whole situation. But what I can do is count my professional experience toward the hours that I have to have in order to even take the PMP exam. Event management does count for that. So they are aware, you know, at some point along the spectrum that event managers are doing those things. So I have signed up for that class and I am just slowly plugging through it. So a week like this where I don't have a ton of meetings is great because instead of just, there was a couple hours here on Wednesday that I dedicated for PMP prep. Maybe I can knock out even just a little bit more. Maybe just do a little bit more because it's also career related. And if my employer's not going to give me professional development opportunities, I feel no guilt whatsoever taking a couple hours on a Wednesday that's quiet and giving myself my own professional development. Sometimes you just got to do what you got to do. That's all I'm saying. All right, so while it has been hot, this week it's going to rain. It's going to rain a lot. So on a Monday, we're starting off hot, and then it's going to rain, and it's going to bring the temperature down. And then it's going to rain some more, and bring the temperature down some more, and we're going to drop down into the 70s for most of the week. And it's going to be rainy, supposedly, for most of the week. We'll see. It is not ideal weather for somebody that drives most of the way to work and then takes a shuttle. You know, getting out of my car in the rain into waiting for a shuttle to come around. And it's one of those reasons that as much as I love a city like London, I don't think I could ever live there because there's so much more rain. Or Seattle. You know, I don't know. Just maybe I could. For the right opportunity, maybe I would live in London. I prefer to live places that don't have that much rain. So it's weird when we have a full week. And I think this Saturday rain is AM rain, and then it clears up by the afternoon. But we're just going to leave raindrops there all the way across the top because that is our predominant rain situation. All right, well, I have this black in my hand. I'm going to do what I've been doing for a couple of weeks now, and that's making these boxes across where I have different things. I think I'm actually going to write what those things are also in black this week. So again, I have no meeting Monday morning. I had a coworker who had a really simple question message me on Teams this Monday, and she said, "When you're no longer in the red, I have a question for you." I messaged her back and I was like, "Oh, I'm here." I was like, "My calendar is just blocked because I don't allow anybody to book a meeting on Monday morning because it's cruel and unusual punishment." And she was like, "That's a really great idea." I said, "I know." That's why I do it. My therapist even is like, "That's a really good idea." I was like, "I know. Whatever we have to do to protect our mental health, protect our productivity. If I came in on Monday and immediately had to jump into a string of meetings, I would be useless for the rest of the week. It would just tank any hope at productivity that I could possibly hope to have. I've just got to have time to sit down, frame out my week, get it going. Because again, while I keep this planner for work, I'm shuffling things in and around the Microsoft system. So all of my events have their own event set up in Microsoft Planner. I have things in Microsoft To Do, which is their task management system, and flagged emails, which pop up in Microsoft To Do so that you don't forget about them one way or the other. So I have to come in on Monday and just kind of figure out where I'm at. I do have access to all of those tools from home, but I just don't want to open it up on a Sunday night. You know, tank the rest of my weekend with prepping for my work day. Sometimes, if I have the time, I'll do that on a Friday afternoon at 3 o'clock, 4 o'clock, and spend that time getting ready. And then my no meeting Monday morning really is just catching up with coworkers, or I'll start right in on a project, because I can do that as long as I've assigned that time to myself. But nobody's allowed to put a meeting there. Again, unless you're very important people. You know, if the CEO wants a meeting on a Monday morning, he's gonna get a meeting on a Monday morning. But most of the time, that is honored, and I'm probably inspiring a lot of my coworkers to do the same thing. All right, on Tuesday, I don't currently have any meetings. Again, I'm gonna jinx it. You watch. I'm gonna come in on Monday, and this whole week's gonna fill up with meetings. It probably won't, but all right. On Wednesday, I have my writing circle that I have every week, and regular old lunchtime. I'm still not doing a good job of leaving my desk area for lunch. I gotta just start doing that. And again, I work in a very big facility. There's plenty of places I could go other than my desk, including our cafeteria. We do have a cafeteria. Now, I typically have meal prepped and I'm bringing my own food, but I could go eat it down there. Or if it's not raining, we have some garden spaces in and around that I could take advantage of. But again, typically we go from 100 degrees to winter, somewhere in there. And those days that you can actually take advantage of stepping outside and eating outside are few and far between. I don't have any meetings on Thursday, right now, and I don't have any meetings on Friday right now. See, it is a very quiet week for me. I do know of 2 people that I need to try to have very quick meetings with, and I need to set those meetings. So now that I'm looking at this and I see how open my week is, I'll probably reach out to the 2 of them. Those are 2 separate meetings. I don't need to meet with the both of them at the same time. One of them on one day and one of them on another. Both of them can be virtual. They don't have to be in person at all. And we'll see what we can do. And then I do have my waiting on list. Some of this stuff has not come in yet. You know, I told y'all I have completely annihilated my no buy September. It's okay. But I got some stickers coming that are meant for 2025. I just have stuff coming. I just have Etsy. Those are planner tabs because these little ones I need ones that are a little more sturdy than these. These are so sad. I do see that says October, but it has barely survived the year. And my top and bottom tabs they're just gone. All right. But on the 25th, which is what, Wednesday, my Harry's order comes in, razors. We have 1 subscription that Kenny and I share. So whenever those show up, I'll text him and be like, yo, come get your razors. Stickers, Etsy. Oh, I forgot one. I've got something coming from bulletjournal.com on that day. And like I said, it's a very quiet week. I don't have dinner plans with friends. My cousin, who I hang out with a lot, as well as the closest friend that I hang out with a lot. Yeah, both of them did drag with me this weekend. Yeah, we're tired. But I'm actually kind of fine. My problem now is I mentioned that it's very easy for me to cycle to being a night owl. And after 2 very late nights out, that's exactly where I am at. I've cycled onto being a night owl. So I got up, I went to bed very late last night, even though I didn't have to. I got up fairly late this morning, much later than I'm going to have to get up to be a functioning human with the job that starts at 8 a.m. tomorrow morning. So it's going to be curious to see what it takes for me to get myself back on normal people hours, because I cycle off of it very quickly. But both of them have conferences this weekend. One of them out of state, one of them just out of town. But the people that I normally hang out with are gone this coming weekend. So I have a very quiet week. And then I have a fairly quiet weekend. I am going to put on here ASO, stands for Arkansas Symphony Orchestra. I get discounted tickets to the symphony through my employer. And I thought to myself, well, maybe I'll just go to the symphony Saturday night. Maybe I'll just go hang out and listen to some classical. And the performance is Aaron Deal plays Gershwin. He's a pianist. And I'm going to put it on my planner because I had to look up and see what was going on in town. I thought, let me just look at our event calendar, and there are a lot of things happening this weekend. But it was kind of like, what do I want to go to by myself? If I go by myself. Or that my son Kenny might want to go with me. Or do I even want to go out at all on the weekend? I don't know. Now there's enough things going on in the downtown area where this is taking place that I may not want to go because I may not want to deal with the parking situation because it's close to the convention center and there's things happening. There's just stuff happening. I used to work downtown. I used to work for the convention center and the facility that hosts the symphony. And so I know when to stay out. So I'm going to eyeball it this week. And I might take myself to the symphony. And I might not. All right. I do need to put in space for my weekly reflection. It's just going to live down here. I've said before, I like it here. It's working for me. So I don't see that changing anytime soon. So this will be a written reflection, and then we're going to put and I'm going to put it up here in the purple. I'm going to put a plus, I'm going to put a minus, and I'm going to put a forward, and that is things that went well this week, things that did not go well this week, to-do items that I need to move to next week after I do my weekly reflection. And I also come in on these negative things and I cross out those items that were beyond my control. Like, by the time the end of this week rolls around, I'll be honest, y'all, I'll be pretty pissed off about the weather. 4 days of rain will send me over the I'm such a sunshine girly. I will recognize and appreciate when the ground is dry and we need the rain. But when it rains that many days in a row, I get cranky pants. And this will probably say something about the rain, and I'll have to cross it off and be like, stop being upset about the rain because it's out of your control. You cannot control the weather. So it's how my brain processes the negatives. I do lean heavily into my negativity bias, and so I always have to check myself. And that's why I do the weekly reflections, so that when I get to the monthly reflection, I can check my weekly reflections, and the authenticity of these keeps the monthly one in check as well. Haven't done the monthly reflection yet. Like I said, I have done my quarterly reflection, and the reason that I have done that is because I like to do it on the equinox, which is today, which is why I did it today. Autumn equinox in September. It gives me a week before the end of September to think through my reflection and really what I want to implement going into the last quarter on October 1st. And then the spring equinox takes place in and around March 20th, 21st, somewhere there. Again, gives me a week or so before the end of the month, going into quarter 2 on April 1st, that I can really start implementing things that I want to implement. And that's why I like to do my rituals on the equinox instead of at the end of the month. So I'll still do a September monthly ritual, but I'll do it closer to the end of the month. And we need to set up a page for, oh no, I normally set this up in advance for the 52 lists project. Hang on, let's do this and pull out, what week am I on? Nope, not week 41. See, I have all these pre-printed things stuck in here. Hang on. Is that it? That's it. That's what we need. Switching over to this Moterm cover has been great for pockets. It's been absolutely phenomenal for pockets. All right, looking back, and I have not filled in any of my list, but you can see I've been doing some pretty extensive daily logging. Last week's list was list the ways you can love yourself more. I did have a therapy appointment on Monday. I should have asked my therapist that. But I did a full page on Tuesday, a full page on Wednesday. I do intend to do some back planning for yesterday and a little bit from Friday. A lot has happened. I don't normally back plan, but I went ahead and stuck these in here to do that. And then I'm not done with today. Today's not finished, so we've got more we need to put in here. But other than that, we just turn the page and start on the next page. And I guess I'm just going to stick this sticker in here, and we will check the book and see what our list 39 is. All right. Can't believe we're getting so close to this book being finished. List 38. List 39 is list the most beautiful things you have ever seen. Wow. Without spending any money, what are a few ways you can experience more beauty in your everyday life? That's a really good question. Of course, a lot of that answer is, nature related. List the most beautiful things you have ever seen. I like that one. Because some of the most beautiful things I've ever seen are art. Hang on, let me get this written in. So like I said, some of the most beautiful things that I have seen are art. Some of them are nature, like Mount Kilimanjaro. I could stare at that mountain all day. Tell me, as always, what's the most beautiful thing you have ever seen? People, With people, it might not even be external beauty, right? Some people just have an inner light that makes them the most beautiful people we've ever seen, whether the outside matches that light or not. Beauty is highly subjective, for sure. So yeah, list the most beautiful things you have ever seen. I also might need to, we're gonna hop back here. I also might need to come in and add some of my kit stickers in here, maybe because it's just such a quiet week. You know, it's been a long time since I pulled in some of these kit stickers, and of course I have plenty of them. Maybe I'll do that. I don't know. We'll have to wait and see. But yeah, let me know down in the comments below what the most beautiful things you have ever seen are. Do you have anything exciting that's happening in your life this week? Coming up after this is going to be my October plan with me, so look for that. Would typically post it on Wednesday. I might post it a little bit earlier if I can get it edited. So that is coming up as well. It is a fun one for spooky season. I do love me some October. That's it from me today. Thanks y'all for spending some time with me. If you like this video, you know what to do. Give it a big thumbs up. Subscribe if you haven't already, and I will catch you in the next one.